And you're live.
All right,
Yep.
thanks. Good evening, and thanks for coming to the Fair Access Committee meeting for June 11th, 2026. The attendees tonight are Ed Reed, myself, Nancy Kidd, and Derek Longbreak. The first order of business is we did not have a meeting last month because we didn't have a quorum, but we do have April minutes that we did not adopt at that point. So if we could have a motion to adopt the April minutes.
So moved.
That's a first. That's a motion from Nancy. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thanks. So let me start with the updates. The operating budget testimony, I think you already know a lot of that. I sent you guys some updates since then. We did get the $1.6 million into the CIP budget for the community center. That's the design phase. I since then, and I sent you guys an update on this, but just so the public knows, I did have a discussion with Greg Assant, who's the facilities planning director for the county, who actually is the guy who does the planning work to help set up the design and eventually the move to the construction phase for the community center. 1.6 million will get it started. It probably will need a little more money to finish the entire design process, but he will not start the design process according to the way they set up the budget until next summer. So it's not starting right now. It'll start in 2027. But even so, we got it started, and I think, as I told you, the critical thing at this point is that the next year coming up is a new CIP budget. Last year, the way the CIP works, they have a 2-year CIP each time they adopt it. The first year of the CIP is essentially new projects. The second year mostly is additions, or if they need more money for projects, they add it in the second year. So normally you don't see new projects come in the second year very much. So next year is a good opportunity if we can get a position to get money in for the community center, and that should be our goal, but we got some time, obviously. But before then, of course, we've got an election, so we'll have to see who the new county council is. We'll have to see who the new county executive is. Because of the events we've had, the forums we've had, we'll know, they'll know us, and we'll know them, whoever does get elected. So I think we'll be in good shape, at least in terms of knowing who we are and having some idea of some of our issues. So that's the good news. The bad news is they're going to start out with a $300 million deficit next year in the county automatically, just because of what happened with this year's budget. So it's
Hey, Mike, just real quick, we have someone waiting to try to get in.
What's that?
There's one guest waiting.
Oh, yeah. Who is
I
it?
think it's the.
I think that's-
it's the AI.
I think it's just, yeah, it's AI, Ed. I think it's just Laura. I don't think it's
do we
her.
need-
She told me she wasn't going to come.
Yeah, it's the AI reader, so it's
Yeah.
I'm going to deny it just because I'm recording the meeting using both obviously on the YouTube, and I just did it for the Zoom or for the Google Meet. So if Laura needs something, we'll just do it that way rather than do her AI reader. Okay.
All right.
She told me previously she was going to be at a family event, so I assume she's not going to be able to dial in.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the long and short of the budget. As far as we know, it looks like the money for WUMCO is in for HHS's budget. And I've been talking to Maria. I don't think we'll know about the Poolesville seniors until the grants money is actually allocated to the Office of Grants Management, and that hasn't happened yet. And when I went on the website today, there's still not any live budget yet that allocates all the money and shows you what happened in this year's budget. It's still last year's, so I think it's probably going to take a few more days for that to happen. But overall, I think we did well, as good as we could have done this year, and we just got a challenge next year, which is always the case. Any other follow-ups? Oh, I did want to mention, too, we did circulate, and all of you saw this, the draft, and eventually became a little 2.5-minute video short that had segments of everybody who spoke and got a lot of feedback. It was a good video. I think people did appreciate it. It summarized all of our comments pretty well. So anyway, that worked as well. And nothing else on the budget that I'm aware of at this point. On the farmer's plaque, you've seen the invitations, and what I would like to do at some point, probably I'll do it this weekend, is send each of you the invite list, and it's a very long one. It's 110 people at this point. I checked with everybody from the Farm Bureau to farmers like Davy Scott and the Jamesons and Bob Sissel and Jenny Freeman as well, trying to get as many people to input names. Also, the Ag Department sent me a bunch of names that they had, so it's a long list, including council members. But what I would like is you guys could take that, and if you know any of those people on there, have a relationship with them, if you could just forward it to them and invite them and ask them if they could please respond. We've gotten about 22 RSVPs, which is a good start, and normally these things, take forever, but we have a shot, and it looks like it's a pretty good one, of getting the lieutenant governor there, which would be great. We can't get the governor. I talked to his office, and he's going to be traveling that weekend, but she responded to, I have her personal email, so I was able to get to her, and she actually said, I'd like to do it, but I've got to get my scheduling people to look into it. So they just got back to me today, so we have a shot, I think, of getting her, which would be a great addition to it. So I will send that to you, and if you know folks on there, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you see somebody you think ought to be invited, do the same thing. If you just let me know who it is, because like I said, the more the merrier from my standpoint. But just let me know who it is, what organization, if they're a farmer or an organization, and then their email, so I can have it and put it in the list. Anyway, I think it's coming along fine. Right now, the idea is to have the event at this, right out here. Probably we're going to be in the parking lot, and the chairs will be facing that direction, because that's where the plaque is. And then we'll come to Town Hall at 7 o'clock for a reception. And that's actually underway. The staff's going to help get all that set up. So I think we're in pretty good shape. We'll have to see how it comes along, but I think it's in good shape. The candidate forums, I think I don't have much to say there. I just wanted to note that I was been in 3 receptions recently where people who were either in the forum, like Rita Montoya, who wasn't in it, but she attended online and watched it. She's a current board member. Or council members told me that they watched it and they got a lot out of it. Citizens have told me that too. So I think they were well worth doing. Got a lot of good feedback.
Do we have a sense of how many people were watching online?
I don't know. Did you ever look at that, Miles?
I can get that. Just give me about 5 minutes and I'll
Okay.
get you the numbers.
Thanks.
Okay?
Yeah. I mean, the last one we didn't have many people. Several of them, we had
Yeah, no, it was-
100 people in the audience, in some cases here at Town Hall, so,
great.
yeah. But thank you all for helping be there or organizing. It really came together well, I think.
I think Derek's saying something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Link, I just wanted to say, I think it was really worthwhile to do the forums, even if there wasn't quite, like, for example, for the last at-large one, all of the people in the room. I think the candidates coming out and getting asked questions about the western upper Montgomery County, and then just coming to Poolesville, like that would prompted some of them to come back and visit. It got them at different times to go and see and learn about WUMCO and come and call and talk to you. So I think it was really, really worthwhile.
Yeah. That's good feedback. Yeah, that's exact. And Parbu Selvin was actually and he did that before, so, yeah. That was great. It's a lot of work that was worth doing, I think, so.
All right, so I have the numbers as of today.
Okay.
So the county executive one has 300 views, which is one of the top things overall. The first at-large one has 96 views. The Board of Ed one only has 82 views.
82. That's too
And then the second at-large one has 110 views. Now, part of that is I switched up how I did the notice, so that included the link directly, so more people could click in advance of the meeting. I tried something different, so that probably accounts for why there's a few more between the first one and the second one. But I was also thinking that if you want to do a sort of a wrap-up email, we could include the links to all of them.
That's a great idea.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I can do that tomorrow and send it out tomorrow.
Yeah, good thought.
And so
I think that's a great
it'll
idea.
be easy. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that tomorrow. So I'll make a note to do that.
Honestly, 300 is amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a really good. It's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you know,
that's really,
there are a few commissioner meetings that I think are there or thereabouts. But I will look. I'll see where they play in. So
Wow.
that really shows that it does both what Derek was suggesting, which is the really important piece of bringing the candidates up here and making them think
Yeah.
about our area, but it's also a real service to the members of our community too, to help them be more informed.
Once you do that too, if you could send it to me, I'll make sure, I'd like to also send it to the candidates, just so that, a lot of them are, at this point, people are voting, so in some
Right.
ways it doesn't matter. But I
Right.
think a lot of them would just appreciate having the links, and, you know, it'd be nice to say, hey, thank you for coming.
sure, I'll put it together. Just give me a little time tomorrow, and I'll send it to you.
No rush, that's great. Thanks for the support too, Niles, you did a lot to help make it happen, so.
Of course.
Wayne, can I add in another thought?
Yeah,
I think you should go ahead and, if you think the numbers are good when you send it to the candidates, that you should say, you know, over 300 people saw this, or, you know, around 100 people additionally saw that, just so they know that the impact that Poolesville has, or that the coming to the forum has. I mean, you can judge if you think the numbers are high enough to do that.
yeah, that's a good point, because I'm sure they normally think, well, I only saw 10 people in the audience, so it's probably nobody watching. Yeah, good. Appreciate it, thanks.
Of course.
Let me move to Poolesville Day. I sent you, believe it or not, I know it kind of seems like it's early to think about it, but it really isn't, because it's, when you think about it, it's July, August, September. Basically, it's only 2.5 months or 3 months. It's not that far away. So I put together just a quick idea on a run of show. And the idea for the panel in here, and you guys, if you don't like it, that's fine. We can go to another approach. One thing I thought about initially was having sort of an introductory panel. In other words, having local, maybe business leaders, or, I don't know, people from the area that do things in the area, have 4 or 5 of them, and just kind of let them talk about who they are. That's another thing we could do, just kind of saying, here's some of the leaders in the community you should know. But this idea actually came, Jenny Freeman and I were talking about the co-op, because, you know, we were talking about the fact that aggregation doesn't exist in the county very much, so it's hard for the co-ops like Tacoma Park, as I mentioned before to you guys, to actually buy food in Montgomery County. And she said, well, you know, we could have a panel that would kind of tie into your previous year, focusing on farming, but focusing in on something that's really kind of near and dear to the heart of a lot of people, which is food security. And obviously WMCO is a part of that, so that fits in there. So she and I have been kind of just trying to think that through, and what you see there is just an initial swag at it. It's not anything, you know, obviously written in stone. But I do think having a farmer like Marcy, I don't know her, but Jenny does, and she said she's really eloquent. She's younger, black woman who runs that Sharon Dew farm. Might be cool, because they do grow tabletop crops. And then obviously having Katie there talking about WMCO and fresh food and how that helps. But take a look at it. If you think it works, it probably is too many people, because normally you only have, you know, we did the one last time that we had, I think it was 4 people, and they each had like 2 minutes. And then, so you really end up maybe at the best with a 15 or 20-minute panel. You can't do much more than that. But, you know, start giving some thought. It's nothing urgent at this point. Also, and I'm not going to mention it publicly, because I want to, obviously, these things we want to make a surprise, but I also suggested an idea for who ought to be the champion of the Western County Award. If you guys have other thoughts, certainly send them out, and, you know, on the email chain, and we can talk about it. If you have another idea or ideas, that would be great. But the one I suggested, I thought was cool, good for a number of reasons, and if you guys agree, that's great. And, you know, anything else you think of, or other ideas to include this year, let me know. We've got essentially, as you know, from 7:45 to around 9:30. 9:25 is when we try to get out, and with some pictures at the end, so that's the time frame. So just start giving it some thought. It's nothing urgent, but at some point, we're going to have to finalize and kind of firm it up. In regard to that, I talked to Laura about a couple of things with regard to Poolesville Day, and one is that we still have the beach balls, which, we don't have the pool bubble, so we still need to have that, so that's cool. We got about 150 of those we can use still. But again, kind of carrying through on the farm theme, I found some websites that have seed packets that you can put a picture, and we had a picture of a farm that has Sugarloaf in the background, and on the front, maybe have sunflowers or something. But I had a tagline idea of something like planting the seeds for a stronger community, you and fair access, or something like that to give out. And I just thought it was kind of a cool way to connect farming and us. And then for kids, one of the things that Laura suggested was they like those wind spinners, and she said they got some cool ones now that are. So she had multicolored ones that are, they're small, but you can print out her name on the handle of it. So those are what I was thinking of sort of like the handouts that we could have for this year. So if you have any other ideas or thoughts, that's fine. We still got time on that too.
I just wonder if there's something related to the community center. Do we need to keep that message?
Community center?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, that's a less, I don't know what you do with that, but
Yeah.
there's not a beach ball equivalent.
Yeah.
But, even if it's just some sort of materials or something, but
Yeah.
something that,
Yeah, that's a good thought. I don't know what to do in the community center, because last year we had the doctor, and I think we may still
Yeah,
have some of
yeah,
those
those
pens.
pens.
They went like crazy.
yeah, they liked them.
Yeah, if you got a thought on that, that'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, there's the medical part of it, that could be the clinic part could be tied into
Yeah.
some kind of swag better.
Yeah.
But,
So listening to that, if we had a way to blend like well-being, and we look at what are some of those pillars of well-being. We look at healthy food, we look at recreation and medical care,
Nice.
right? And so you think about those three things, and that really hits some of the areas I think we're really, focusing on. And we think about seniors, we think about youth, everyone. We're building community where we value food, tabletop food. We value recreational healthy socializing, and we value fitness and activity. And so when we think about the community center being an anchor where these things can take place, and even being able to have a community center where farmers could come to a place and talk about the things that they do, and where we could talk about healthy living. I'm just brainstorming right here while we're together, but I have like this vision of these three key pillars as we talk about how do we continue to support the health of Western Montgomery County through healthy living, healthy socialization, and healthy food.
like it.
Yeah, the recreational piece might be one. We didn't do that last year. We did the medical piece, so maybe that's. I can't think right now what it would be, but I mean, obviously there's some things that can suggest themselves. But
It's a stretch, but we could probably stitch it together when we think about how important it is for today's youth to have healthy outlets. So instead of these teen takeovers or these youth takeovers, we really, in our community, instead of kids hanging out at McDonald's or hanging out in different places, let's give them structured programming where they could go and hang out with each other, but have some oversights in programming. And we think about how some of the things we talked about in the past about the advantages beyond just having a health component, but recreational activities for seniors. In the winter, I know one of the community centers, they set up indoor pickleball. Yeah, pickleball.
yeah,
So, these different things. I guess now it's on a roll, isn't it? But,
Gonna say,
there you go. Now that's a better one. But that's just food for thought. So if we let those seeds to take a little root, and then maybe we can see what we can come out of that. And then maybe some of our more creative types can look at how to use those ideas.
And that could be kind of the, a branding thing on all of, if we had the kind of pillars, then that could be on all of these items that, the different pieces that are tied to specific pillars, but still you have
Also for
broader message.
recreation and outdoor stuff, I believe that National Park System is building a campground over by White's Ferry. if I
Right.
remember Correctly.
Right.
So you have that. My wife just did the whole C&O Canal, biking. So that could be a big thing to kind of push to get people to come here because this is a great place to kind of sit and camp. It's very safe. It's very quiet. Camping and outdoor hikes and stuff like that because you got Sugarloaf that's not too far away and you got C.O. Canal. There are like 3 or 4 other nature preserves that are not too far away. Even the Buddhist temple, like I believe a Boy Scout just recently cleaned up their trail system. What they have, it's gorgeous. Like pushing outdoor recreation as well as indoor recreation. For indoor recreation, I have some ideas too, like clubs and club things that may not be at the schools or may not last as long. There was one idea I just had recently. I'll come back to it because my brain kind of got on the recreation thing. But that's what it was. The farmers. There's not farmers. It's there's a gardening club that's in Montgomery County, and I can't remember. My mother-in-law belongs to it. It's but they do a lot of native gardening and a lot of gardening, and that could be a part of the healthy food is how to build a small garden with whatever things that you have access to, like going to the Tractor Supply or going to John's and just grabbing a couple things to build a small garden in your yard, and how to garden correctly, things like that. Master gardeners, that's what I'm looking for. The master gardeners. They do a lot of community service work too. And so seeing if they can do any community service projects in teaching. So like, I know like my mother-in-law is one of the women that take care of that small community garden over there. And so things like that might be a good way to kind of incorporate one, health and fitness as well as good food and growing your own food. Because you don't need much to grow a decent amount of food for yourself and your family.
On the indoor stuff there, the recreation stuff there, there's probably a lot of different ways you could do that. You just got to figure out what it is that you can connect to that's like a fob with a basketball on it, for example, or a tennis shoe or something that would be a recreation with the right logo on the fob itself saying something about the need for a community center. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, I think that would work.
Do we also have, do we have some money to be able to get some signage for the booth? Because, the last couple of years it's been tricky because first we've had to carry everything from the breakfast to the booth.
Right.
But the stuff hasn't fit in the booth. It's just like the banner doesn't fit in the booth, and then the posters are like on these little easels and
Yeah.
they're kind of falling off.
Right.
So I wonder if it would be worth investing in some things that are for the booth, so we could set up the booth before the breakfast, and everything would like fit nicely.
How are the booths 10 feet? Is that what it is? It's probably 10 feet,
I don't
right?
know.
10 by 10?
Seems
Now,
about right.
Niles is on, but I think those tents are 10 by 10. So if
That's-
we made it like 6 by,
Yeah, I mean, we
you're
could
talking
get
about
them.
setting it in front of the tables there, so something that
Well-
is easy to see, or hang it up?
I mean, either way, like I think we've had the big banner we've taken from the breakfast and hung it in the back.
Right.
So it could be something in the back, but and also a table runner, or I don't know if you call it a runner, the thing that hangs in the front of the table.
Right.
And I mean, that might be enough, but we've also had these little posters that have had to do with the
Right.
specific issues,
Right.
which are great, except again, they just don't like work in the booth. They get knocked down and wind blows them, and
Right.
so I don't know, maybe there's a banner that has that hangs from the top or something that has some of those issues, or I don't know how to know how to do the drayage for that stuff. I'm sure somebody else knows how to do the drayage, but it might be worth. I can't imagine that's that expensive
No.
and it would just make the day easier too to have it set up in advance.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, actually, the tripods that we have, they're adjustable, so you can actually make them smaller, so maybe what we need to is lower them down so they're
Like on a table.
more visible on the, maybe even put them on the tabletop, I don't know. But the banner itself, that's a good idea in terms of the front, and we can always have that set up, and, yeah, let me talk to Laura and see what she thinks. Yeah, we still have some room from last year's budget before July 1st is the new fiscal year, so we still have time from last year. So, Yeah, that'd be a good idea. It'd be a lot easier than having to drag stuff all the way back up. Although we'll still need to take some, well, not all of them. We won't take that many of the things that we're going to do handouts to the breakfast because most people don't use them and take them there anyway.
Right.
We'll take some, but, okay,
Yeah, we've really schlepped a lot
yeah,
the last couple of years.
yeah, okay. See, I'm trying to think, I've been to about 10 different events lately. You know, I've seen all three of the county executive candidates at various forums, not debates, but just meet and greets. I mean, nothing significant, but, you know, we are keeping visibility with them that way. Just came back from one last night, so I think we're doing the best we can, given the fact that it's campaign season and it's summer, to let them know we're still here, so. So give us some thought, those are all good ideas. On the community center one, I have to figure out what is the way we can do something that's low-key and easy to understand when you see it without having to explain it, so, but we can work on that. If you get any thoughts, though, on that, in terms of a handout or like a key fob that might be, or something like that, that would be something you could give out to people when they're walking by, that would be great. Like I said, we got to July 1st to order them, so. All right, I think those are the main things I had. Is there anything else anybody had they wanted to add? I'm planning to, by the way, if I'm still here, I might have to go down. My mother's been getting a little bit worse, and so I may have to, it depends on what happens, whether she's not, I don't think there's anything immediate that's going to happen, but her dementia's taking a turn for, you know, in a different direction, so I may have to leave and go down there for a few days. But if I don't, I'm planning to go to the data center hearing that the county council's having on the 16th, just to get a feel for what people are saying. At the thing for David Trone, believe it or not, I was there with him for about 20 minutes with 4 people from Poolesville, and that was the first thing they asked him about. And he didn't really have a good answer at that point. Later on, somebody asked the same question again, and he was speaking after he started speaking, and I thought he did a better job on that when he answered the question that time. But it is, I mean, it's, you know, it's going to be an important issue both in this election and I think nationally too. So anyway, I just want to see how it goes that day. So anything else anybody has? Derek or Ed?
That sounds good. On the 26th of July, though, I'll be out of town, but everything sounds good.
Okay.
And I'm accessible, text, email, phone.
Okay.
Yep, send out that list link for the 26th, and I'll invite some people that are on there.
That's great. That would help a lot, because it always helps when somebody you know says, hey, you should come to this. So, all right, I'll send it out this weekend, so everybody should have it. And you'll see in the right-hand column, I've got attend or not attend. There's an X if they're attending, and a 0 if they're not. So there's about 20 right now that I think that have said yes, which is not bad.
Hey, quick question. On there, I was wondering, what's her name, from Lewis Orchard? Do we have her coming out? Did she get invited to our VIP breakfast?
Yep, she is, and she came last year, and she's coming, she
Okay.
always said she's coming to the 26th. And Gene Kingsbury, unfortunately, you probably saw this, but Gene's not going to open this year because his, the peach orchard
Yeah, I heard
hit
about
hard. But he emailed me too and said he's gonna come, so they're both coming. Yeah. So that's, you know, I feel really bad for him.
One of the things
I've known him
really
since high
good-
school, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bad year
Yeah.
for him.
Well,
It just
you
shows
say
you how,
a real good-
what we're talking about, how tough this is. This business is tough, so.
Right. And then what I was going to say, I had a good conversation with from Lewis. I forget her first name, but her last name's Lewis.
Linda Lewis? Yeah.
Yeah, so with Linda, and we actually were talking about young people and the jobs and just life skills, but looking at, I was thinking like even, and this might be down the road, maybe not this far, but just to think about, to start having some discussions, connecting some of our local youth with job opportunities at some of our local farms,
Yeah, that's a good thought.
you know, and
Yeah.
what that might look like. So, and there might be some kids where seeds are planted, where we know that one of the challenges that the local farmers face is handing it down to their kids who don't want anything to do with it. But there might be other kids who might want to learn and might want to say this as a viable career path based on interests.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, she's in well, I think the same thing is true of Deer Valley, but she's in a different situation than a lot of farmers who are like grain growers and stuff. They don't have a lot of kids other than maybe a few working on the farm, but not compared to Linda. I mean, she has people there at the cashier's desk and helping stock
Yeah.
up and all that. Same thing with Deer Valley. And
Right.
Caleva, I've talked to Alex a lot about Caleva, and they have a lot of animals that, they have kids there helping take care of the animals. It's a lot of stuff that you could do, you're right, so.
And so then the last idea I had, it was when we think about our farming community and just with our middle school and our high school is looking for help. What we could do as fair access is help be a bridge to connect the farmers to the schools where they have an opportunity to talk about careers in that field. You know, because just like I know I'm at a school and we do our career days and we have people of all different industries. But one of the things I think is lacking is that opportunity to have our local folks come out and tell young people that, hey, in addition to going to college or the military, have you considered careers in agriculture?
Yeah, good point.
All right, that's it for me.
Yeah, that's great. Good thoughts. Anything else, Derek? All right. Nancy? All right, hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I motion.
All right, second by Nancy, I guess, or both.
Either way.
See you guys later. Thanks for coming tonight. Thanks, Niles, for setting it up. Thanks,
okay,
Derek,
guys.
for coming. I appreciate it. Thanks. All
Again, we had a quorum.
right,
All right, bye.
Yeah.
bye.